Oh, Jawsome! Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today for review we have Wave 1 of the Street Sharks 30th Anniversary figures from Mattel. So the 30th Anniversary Street Sharks figures are basically an updated version of the vintage figures. So far they've released figures that are based off the vintage designs, not the cartoon. So they have modern articulation, which I'll go over in the video, but they still scale with the original figures. In this video, I'll be just going over Wave 1. I have Wave 2. I will be going over that soon. I'll also be comparing in the Wave 2 video Big Slamoo with a vintage Super Slamoo. I'm going to go ahead and show off the packaging for these action figures. They all have the same packaging design. The only difference is like the different action feature callouts and names of the characters, and of course the bio is different, but otherwise they're basically the exact same packaging for all of Wave 1. Wave 2 will have the exact same packaging for all the figures, but it'll be different than Wave 1 and so on. Wave 3 is coming out in the fall, which should include Killamari, like a boxing version of Slamoo, and Moby Lick. So I'm excited for Moby Lick. He's my favorite Street Sharks character. Anyhow, here's the packaging. This is the packaging for Jab specifically. Let me move Slash out of the way. His nose was hitting the box. So you'll just have the little warning up top for each character. You have the name down here. Over to the side, you have the Try Me, I Bite, is what it says on all the Street Sharks themselves. It'd be different on Slash because he doesn't have the biting action feature. You have the Street Sharks logo directly in the center. Up top, you have the 30th anniversary of Street Sharks metallic like decal. Press my fin if you dare would be the threat on all the Street Sharks brothers themselves. On the side, you just have the little Try Me and whatever the action feature is. You have the name of the character down at the very bottom, and you have the Street Sharks logo up here at top. It's all designed to look like a shark cage. It's got like metal design. Inside you actually have a plastic shark cage, which you can clip together with all the other ones to make a giant shark cage playset. It's not very, very cool looking though, so I don't want to do that. Here's the artwork. So far all the figures have the same artwork at the top of the Seviants versus the Street Sharks. We have Slopster holding a parking meter. We have Dr. Piranoid, Slash, Jab, Ripster, Big Slamoo, and Streaks. Here we have the action feature call out. It'll be different for each figure, of course. You'll have the Mattel logo down there. This is the thing that tells you that it's not suitable for children ages 0 to 3. Warning, small parts may be generated. I'm assuming that means if you bash the figures around too much, something may break off and children could swallow it, potentially. I don't think that would happen. The figures seem to be built very well, but I mean, I guess it's possible. Bite is might. Here we go. They climbed out of the deep and onto the street to stop the gene-juggling madman Dr. Piranoid and his Seviants from devastating Fission City with a tidal wave of crime. Coming at you from shore to store and street to street. Action feature figures. And then you have the cross sell. Here we have Ripster and Slash, because Jab is the one in the packaging. He's not on the cross sell, but on Ripster's packaging and Slash's packaging, Jab would be on the cross sell. Whichever figure's in the box is not on the cross sell, is basically what I'm saying. Down here you have the bio. I'm going to go ahead and read the one for Jab just because that's the only one I have out here. Name Jab, Moto, hit it head on. 411 file. He's a militant guy with an incredible sense of street justice, harder to handle than a hurricane at high tide. His nasty temper is feared by foes and friends alike. Street skills, hits hard, hits often, strikes his target with the power of a hydraulic jackhammer, batters down barricades, overpowers obstacles. Nothing stops him. Main choose, boulders, wrecking balls, toll booths, street girders, donut holes. So on the other side of the packaging, it just has another picture of the figure showing the action feature, and the Street Sharks logo is once again at the top. The packaging is not collector friendly, so you do have to rip it to get it open, but everything goes back in the box and you just have like this little flappy tab. So it's basically collector friendly, but not quite. A while back on the channel, I showed off this Slash figure in my Monkian review. Last time I did a haul video from Target, which was also my Monkian review for the Super 7 Deluxe Monkian figure. I said I'd be doing a review on this Slash. Well, finally, that review is here. I went ahead and picked up the rest of Wave 1. I picked up Ripster at Christmas time, and then I just picked up Jab yesterday at Target. All three of these figures are from the same Target. I'm not going to tell you which one, though, so you're going to have to look at your own Targets. Here we have on the Slash the Evil Seviance logo. Out of package, I will mention that this nose piece is removed, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that. So out of package, it would be like this, facing you like that in the packaging. They do have a lot of ties to hold the figure down, so once you pull the cage out, you can just snip it from the back side of the cage, and it'll release the figure from the cardboard. This piece was also in like a little bubble in the packaging for Slash, so you just line up this peg with the hole, put a good amount of force, and it snaps right into place. Here's the side view. We have some nice metallic purple paint here and some metallic turquoise blue color on the rest of his scales on the chest. The arms and hands are cast in like a pearlescent turquoise blue color. Same for the legs and feet. Yes, these are actually separate pieces from the rest of the shorts. I was going to say I think that this is just painted, but it's not. If you look closely, this is pegged and glued into the rest of the upper leg. So this is cast in navy blue for the jumper suit shorts, and then the rest of the knee area is cast in the blue plastic and glued in, and then below that we have the little calf and ankle part, and then you have the actual foot. He has a jumper suit like a prison suit that he burst through when he mutated, so that's pretty cool. Here we have the lever that'll show the action feature. So for the action feature, you just pull this lever down, and he actually has a very, very, very good action feature. It's actually powerful enough to knock over a figure if you do it right. So you just have to hit it at the right angle. There we go. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and do the articulation. So of course this can spin, and if you twist it this way, it'll automatically spin back because it's on a spring-loaded mechanism. Of course, there's no head articulation, or technically, let me move the arms out to the side. The head can turn left and right. The arms can go outwards, forwards, backwards, bend at the elbow, 90 degrees, hinge at the wrist. Same thing for the other side. Just want to show off that it's just as fluid on the other side. It's actually tighter on this side, but it's still just as fluid. Hinge at the wrist once more. Then moving down to the waist, he can swivel at the waist, which is the same as the head articulation, but I just wanted to show that off. I do believe these figures have drop joints, so they do drop just a tiny little bit and then go back into place, but this one kind of just hangs no matter what, so he's always dropped a little bit. Legs can go outwards into a split. They can go forwards just a bit. They can go backwards, and they do hit the butt. Knees bend just a little bit. Nothing really at the ankles on this figure, but you can kind of twist the foot, but it does feel like it's going to break. So I'll just keep that in the regular position. Other side's exactly the same for that articulation. Let me get him standing again. There we go. He does take up a little bit of shelf space. So he's 5.5 inches tall by about 4 inches wide. If you have his feet spread like this, about 5 inches wide. So he's a pretty chunky figure. I'm going to go ahead and do a scale comparison with this Origins figure. This is also a hint to some review that I'm going to be doing very soon. I'm going to do an Evil Horde review. So here's him alongside the Hurricane Hordak figure. I will be doing a review, as I said before, and I'm also going to be doing a shout out to the Man-Child and his channel. So if you want to watch a different review until mine's up, you can check out the Man-Child over at his channel. He releases videos basically every week or every other week. Pretty cool channel. So if you want to check out the Hurricane Hordak early, you can go ahead and do that. But I do recommend you to come back to my channel so you can see my comparisons and part swaps. So Origins figures are just a tiny bit taller, but not by much. They're basically got the same articulation as Street Sharks figures, so I kind of consider this Street Sharks Origins. I'm going to move Hurricane Hordak off to the side, but I can go ahead and show off the spinning action feature. So this spins very, very well on the Hurricane Hordak arm. So you can get some spinning action with these two. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, going to move Hurricane Hordak off to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and move Slash off to the side. And then I'm going to bring in Ripster. I'm just going to do this review in the order of the figures that I got. So I got Slash first, then I got Ripster. So let's go ahead and jump into Ripster. Ripster's just a tiny bit taller than Slash, but not by much. Slash is a bulkier figure. So they all scale together, but some of them have slightly bigger muscles, wider chests, shorter legs, but they're still basically in the same exact scale. So this figure's a little bit closer to the 5.5 inch mark. Oops. Let's stand him up again. I do believe he'll be a little bit more in scale. There we go. See, his head actually goes to the top of Hurricane Hordak's head, whereas Slash's head did not. So like I said, they're in slightly different scales, but they're very, very cohesive overall. We're going to go ahead and do the articulation on this figure. Arms go outwards, bend at the elbow. Arms can go forwards, backwards, swivel at the wrist, and hinge at the wrist. I know I just did that opposite, but hinge at the wrist, swivel at the wrist. Same thing for the other side. Forwards, backwards, bend at the elbow, swivel at the wrist, hinge at the wrist. We can swivel the head to the side, but it will not stay in that position. There's a reason for that. You can also twist the waist at the same exact articulation point. The fin, you can pull that down and it'll make your mouth open. The entire torso is a soft rubber. It's cast in this metallic blue rubberized plastic. The eyes are painted very, very nicely on this figure. The mouth, inner mouth, is a separate piece. You got a top piece and a bottom piece that are glued in. Painted very nicely. We got the white on the teeth, the pink on the gums, the burgundy on the tongue. This white part is painted onto the blue of the rubber, but it does blend in very well. It's not like you look at this and you're like, oh, that's ugly. It's rubber and plastic. It actually blends very, very well and looks very cohesive overall. Like I said, the articulation in the waist will not stay there. There's a reason for that, because his action feature is the same as a vintage Masters of the Universe figure. He has the Power Punch. So that's pretty cool. You hear the rubber. If I rub my finger across it the wrong way, it actually makes a strange noise. But there is a hard plastic inside of this rubber, which allows for the action feature and all the parts to connect properly. I might eventually get a figure just to see what's inside of a Street Sharks figure and like cut it open and deconstruct it. I don't really know about that, but if I do that, I'll at least use the body for a custom, so it won't be a complete loss. We have the drop joints once more on this Ripster. So it drops and it holds on this figure, and then it goes back up and it holds. The legs can go forwards just a bit. Let me show that from the side view. Backwards, not as much. Bend at the knee, pretty good on this figure. He has like black jeans that are sculpted to go around his cowboy boots. There is a hinge on these cowboy boots. but they do not really work very well at all. So if you look up there, you can see the hinge, but it's not very, very helpful at all. So Mattel could have just left that off in all honesty. Other legs just the same, but the actual ankle articulation does work on this boot. So that's pretty cool. I did not expect that. It can swivel side to side, and it can hinge. So that's pretty cool. So depending on the figure, you can actually get the boots to move sometimes. So that's pretty cool. Here's the side profile. He's got some scars and stuff. Here's the back. You got the musculature with all the veins and all that. And the fin up top. Have the other side, the muscular veiny arms. Also done a blue metallic plastic. So that's pretty cool. That is a running theme with most of the Street Sharks figures. They do have metallic skin, most of them. You will see that the Big Slammo and the Dr. Piranoid do not. But so far, Ripster, Slash, and Jab do. I'm not sure about the Streaks because I have not picked him up yet, but I do know that I will find out very soon. Here is the Jab action figure. He looks pretty cool. So he is the Hammerhead Shark. Slash is a Swordfish. And Ripster is a Great White Shark. Streaks is a Tiger Shark. And Big Slammo is a Bull Shark. So now that we know the species, you can understand why they are different. In the cartoon, Dr. Paradigm, which is Dr. Piranoid's alter ego and the basically public figure of Fission City, he mutated the four brothers of the man he was working for, and I think he also offed the man that he was working for. But he mutated the four brothers with different shark DNA, so therefore they are different types of sharks. Something that was funny from the cartoon when I watched it is after they were mutated, they went to go eat hot dogs at a hot dog cart. They mutated and they were eating their hot dogs like normal humans, and they started to mutate. And then they literally ate the hot dog cart. Even though they were still human in the mind, they ate the entire hot dog cart, and you got the nom 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 sound. I thought that was kind of funny in the cartoon. Like, if I just mutated into a shark, I would not go and eat something that I'm not supposed to eat, personally. But it was a funny clip from the episode. Here we have a little bit of damage right here just now. Notice that? I've actually had this figure open since yesterday, and I've been messing with it, messing with its articulation and everything. But I just now noticed that. So that's pretty cool. Damage on the figure, which there is a little bit of damage on the Ripster as well. That has to do with the rubberized plastic, but this is actually on the regular hard plastic part. From the front view, just like Slash, it's not very appealing. You can't really see much. You can just see the mouth. So he is a little bit better from the side view. Once more, let me stop that for just a second. There we go. He has a totally different side profile, and he is a different scale. He is still taller than this Hordak, but he is shorter than Ripster and taller than Slash. Big Slammo is actually one of the shortest sharks, but the broadest sharks. So that's pretty cool. I'll also be showing off a piece of artwork in my Street Sharks Part 2 video. So I'm excited for that. Articulation on this figure is the same as the other figures. Arm scope outwards. This one actually has like ratchet joints, it sounds like. Swivel. Ah, goodness. Back and forth. Bend at the elbow, very fluid. Bend at the wrist, very, very good wrist articulation. So here we go. See, you can get the wrist to pose very, very well and very easily. Same for the other arm. They really have tight shoulders though. If you pull this arm down, that's how you activate the headbutting action feature. It's not very powerful though. Like if you hit a figure and you're holding it in your hand, the arm will just click out of place like that. And it won't actually knock the figure down very well or even move it. But if you just have, let's bring in Hordak once more. Even though he's not a Street Sharks character, he's very important in this video apparently. You just line him up, pull this, bam, knocks him over. And also, thanks to that headbutting feature, the arm also jabs forward after you let go. Bam. Bam. So that's pretty cool. The mouth is very, very small on this figure in comparison to Ripster. So you just pull the fin down on this one too. It's actually a lot harder on this one, but it does open. Just a tiny little mouth. This is the kind of shark that most likely wouldn't be able to bite anybody in the ocean very well. So surfers are safe around this guy. You have regular articulation at the waist, so you could spin all the way around. There's some actually cool detail on the back. We'll get to that later. Drop joints once more, so up and down. Knee bends just a tiny bit. They're not really good in the leg articulation, but at least you have it. Swivel at the boot. No hinge at this boot, so you have to have the knees just right. Same thing for the other side with the knee bend and the drop joints. Swivel at the boot. So you just have to bend these knees, like I said, have the drop joints in just the right position, and he does stand. Here we have the side detail. We have his gills. So these right here are his gills. The rest of them are just scratches and scrapes and wrinkles in the texture. This is a very soft rubber up here, but it's still very durable and a little bit stretchy, but not very much. So I do believe this will hold up over time pretty good. At least the vintage ones did. So he's pretty cool with his blue, black, and white camo pants. I don't know what type of military he was working for. All I know is that that would not blend in to the surroundings, so he'd probably be the first one shot in war. But anyhow, let's move Hordak off to the side. I forgot that I had him over there. Overall, he's pretty cool. His action feature's pretty cool. You can do both action features at the same time if you want to. Ooh. Oh, I pushed that in a little too far, and I actually got his head stuck out. That's cool. Anyhow, overall, the Street Sharks 30th anniversary figures are really, really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Leave comments down below. What would you like me to do next on my channel? I am hoping to get 50 subscribers by August 5th. So if you guys can help me out with that, I greatly appreciate it. Plenty more stuff is coming down the pipeline, so I hope you guys enjoy. As always, peace.